What's up, everyone? On today's show, we're going to talk about the Avalanche and the Nuggets. They are going streaking right now. It is great at Ball Arena. And then, of course, we're going to dive into what everyone is anticipating this weekend, which is Kansas City and Denver Broncos. So stay tuned, and we'll get into all of that on the other side.
Yo, welcome to the show. Let me set the scene. Mile High Sports Symposium, living the dream. Broncos in the house with that orange and blue. Nuggets making moves, watch that altitude crew. Avalanche bringing ice, check the skills they display. Rocky swinging bats, ready for game day. Rapids in the mix, kicking it with style. Buffs bring the heat, put the rivals on trial. Out talking JJT, they got the scoop. Mile High vibes, feel that energy rise. Sports on the menu, watch the crowd mesmerize. From football to hockey, we're taking it higher. Join the celebration, feel that sports desire.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Whoa, what was I going to say? I don't even know what I was going to say. Welcome to my Sports Symposium. We are here every Wednesday at 2:30, and happy to be here again today to go over all of your local sports teams in the Denver metro area. However, we're going to get to that in a minute. I want to check in with the doctor, Nicholas Manning, my co-host. How are you doing, Doc?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's already like mid-November.
Yeah.
I don't know who decided that.
Yeah, October was slow for some reason, and now November is just going.
Yeah. It's already like, oh crap, Thanksgiving's coming. Like, I don't. You started the like, who's gonna make what thing? Yeah. So it's motoring. I thought that this was gonna be our slowdown time. After all the sports and things.
Yeah.
It's not though.
It's not.
But
it's worse for you, I think, right now, though.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. One puts down stuff, the other one picks up stuff.
For sure.
It is what it is. That said, first world problems. It's busy because my kids like to do stuff. But it could be
certainly
worse.
Could be worse, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, 70 degrees out mid-November. I mean, global schmorming. Right. But I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, man. I've been productive today, which is nice. I've been out in the sun. I went to the park for about an hour and shot some hoops. I went and worked out with my buddy over at the clubhouse, which was nice. And then I walked down, instead of driving down to the school to pick up the boys, I walked down to the school and walked back. So trying to make little changes here and there just to keep going. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out like my other weekdays when I can be more active, just because 10-hour days are long. And then I get home and I make dinner, and then we go take kids to sports practice. And then by the time I get home, I'm exhausted. So I'm trying to figure out, and I'm not a morning person. I know everyone's like, just wake up early. And I'm like, I mean, I already only sleep like 5-6 hours a night. If I cut that off by another hour, I'm just going to be even more of a zombie in the mornings. So I'll figure it out. I think what I got to do, and I was talking to my buddy Jordan about this, I just kind of sit in the car when I drop the kids off for basketball. So maybe I'll just go walk or something,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's what I mean. I keep my weight vest in my trunk.
Yeah.
And so when I do that, like I'll throw my weight vest on and I'll just go walk the field or whatever. I always like keep a hoodie just in case it's like chilly. So really, unless it's like crappy out, I don't have an excuse to like not. So I think it's the little stuff, man. In the end, it's just the mentality of it, right? Like just trying to be active. Can't always do the things we want to do, but I love it. Yeah, the small changes are great.
Yeah.
I did the gym day today, and I did like leg day. I hurt, and like good hurt, not which last week I bad hurt. So I've had to do the like ego, like nope, like just go do stuff right.
Yep.
just that stuff, which at 42, it is what it is, but it's
I've had
feel
to
better,
do that.
like
I always try and go too hard right off the bat, and it's like I just gotta take it one notch down, and like hang out there for a while until I got my feet under me, and then maybe push it. But I never do that.
I mean, it's all
but
the
this
things.
time I'm doing better.
Today I actually did a proper warm up.
Nice.
Like I did like hip open, like all the stuff, and then the whole workout went better. I don't hurt after, like just. I'm a Neanderthal, man. Don't let the doctor fool you. I just might go and like lift off, and then I cry because I hurt all the time. But who doesn't hurt? Actually, no, they probably hurt too. Professional athletes.
Oh, they probably hurt. Just different. Their recovery is different than our recovery.
That's true. I know.
And their resources for recovery.
Yeah, whatever.
They were showing Aaron Gordon
trying to make it on my dime. Nathan McKinnon.
Right? They're showing Aaron Gordon's like house last night with the basketball warehouse gym, and then his hot tub and his cold tub like just built into the sauna or the whatever room next to the basketball gym, and it's like, man, I'd do that too if I had it.
If
I could afford that.
Yeah, if I had the funds. The problem is, I don't know if you know this, but we weren't gifted with the athleticism.
No.
I'm not 6'10" with like 40-inch vert. But if I were,
I mean, I'd still do it just for funsies, just to be like, because I have it, but.
Oh, no, but that's why we don't have it, though.
Right. That's why we can't afford to have it.
That's why.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but if we did.
If we did. Well, let's talk about some people that do. Because they're good at sports and balls and stuff. Let's start with the Avalanche. They're not good at balls. They're good at pucks.
No, they're not.
They're not. But they are on a roll. I think they're at either 4 or 5 game win streak.
5, yeah.
Maybe 4. I think that they're at a 4-game win streak. But their last loss coming in overtime. They have 1 regulation loss all season, and they are leading the Central Conference by 5 points, I think, right now.
Central Division. I'm going to be a hockey guy. Central Division, Western Conference. So,
yes.
1, 2, 3,
my apologies.
4. You're right. They're 4 in a row. 5 out of 6. Wait, 7 out of 8 with the one being an overtime loss. So they've gotten points in all but one game.
All but one game. At least 1 point.
That's nuts, man. Like
that's crazy.
We're at 17 games. 17 games. They have 27 points. Mind you, the Stars got 23 points. The Ducks, who I mean, did that even look like a competitive hockey game?
It got more competitive as the game went on. At the first period, though, like the Avs came out firing and they could not get it out of the zone.
They like the little brother syndrome, right? Like,
for sure.
Cute. You got on your.
Yeah, it was like one of those things too, where like
Ducks. I watch Mighty Ducks. Like, we love you guys, but you know what? This is the big boy table, but just the gap, man. Like just the gap, and the Ducks are, 16 games. They got 23 points. Until that, we're leading the Western Conference in goals 4. The Avs decided like we're gonna go ahead and take that. And the goal differential at 14. The Avalanche are at 25.
Yeah.
Jeez. And then really until the last few games, that hasn't been matched. It was hold on really quick. Let me pull the stat really quick. And then I'm gonna shut up and you can get us on. So 9-1 against the Oilers, right? 9-1.
Yep.
0 for 7 on the power play.
That's
0 for
crazy.
7 with a man advantage. They did score 10 goals. 1 got called off.
Yeah, that's true.
But put the puck in the net 9 times without scoring on 7 power plays.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like, I don't even know. I don't even know how to equate that to to other sports. it's like you score 10 runs all on solo home runs, you know, like never what are we doing here, you know? And it's they haven't put the game kind of thing, but they are. I mean, that game was it. That game was the, you know, at least we're going to be here to show you that we're the big kid on the block. So you hockey guy to back to it, but it's I'm loving it, man. This team just looks different, you know, like it looks like the class of the NHL. And sometimes we've had some front running teams, you know, a little bit where it's pretty. We've talked about like the grit and hasn't been there in a bit. This team looks pissed.
They do.
And like a good motivated, like out to prove something, chip on the shoulder, sports metaphor somewhere insert again. Right. Like it looks like it. It looks like we're not satisfied. Yeah, 4-1, that was fun. You know, you know, they're going to get LOC back. Did he come back last night? I don't remember.
No, it wasn't back last night.
No, but I think he got cleared. But, you know, but who you got to take some out. And
yeah,
the good part about it, right, is that there isn't a easy choice, which the last couple of years, I think it was pretty easy to cycle out that third or fourth line and just be like, you know, if we get something. Tell me about Gavin Brindley, man. I got love for King. Buck 70, you know, so him and I are shopping in the same section at the store.
For sure.
Game-winning goal 2 nights ago. Just, you know, he doesn't win obviously with size, but he plays with a tenacity like he's 6'2". I'm liking it. You know, he's 21.
Yeah, he's 21.
You know, just having some youth on this, which this team has been, you know, kind of in their prime, and having some guys come up, because I think this would have been LOC's spot, but I can't take him out of the lineup. I don't like someone else has got it, which they'll figure out, which it's a good problem to have. I mean, it's a great problem to have. Like, oh, we have to take out a good hockey player to put it in a good hockey player.
Yeah, Brindley's been a lot of fun. He's just like, you can tell he's skilled. He's just young, and so his effort is kind of the thing that stands out first right now. I think is just like, kid is flying all over. He's forechecking. He's playing with a little bit of physicality, with a little bit of edge, even though he's not a real big guy. He's not afraid to mix it up a little bit, and dude is quick. Dude's got some skating ability. We saw that in the overtime with that goal. I mean, he just kind of took matters into his own hands and flew up the ice and made some great moves and got a clean shot off. And I don't know. I've been impressed. With him. He's a guy, I think last year, did we get him in the trade? Yeah, we got Columbus. Him in the trade from Columbus, I think. Mm-hmm. When we sent, I can't think, Boyle, what's his name?
Boyle.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. We got him last year. Anyways, we got him.
You know, it's interesting. It just, I love it. One, because it's to show that you can replenish your youth, right, through smart deals, right? A guy that they threw in, he was a second round pick, wasn't exactly a highly touted player came out of your favorite school, Michigan. But just interesting enough, I kind of like looked up his draft profile. So the 5'9", 170, and high player who excels on the defensive side of the puck. Tenacious forechecker, reliable in defensive coverage. He's always in motion, attacking lanes, bouncing around, etc. Right? Normally, 5'9" guys aren't. That is that's an offensive skilled, right? That's just finesse. But he's not that. And I think that kind of fits what you and I talked about this team, like that, just the different feel. It's no longer just I'm going to outskate you. It's guys who keep that are, and you have a guy who physical stature, right, is playing in a way that's just 5 sizes bigger. And I think that kind of speaks to the essence team, and what I really like about it is they'll be in any shape or form, and they're gonna enjoy doing it. And it's just super cool to see. And so I like that we have back end production, so much so that a guy who has been a staple of this team, been a solid player, good player, not sure whose spot he's in, because you got up and coming like this playing really well.
Yeah, it's a testament to him too, because like you as a young guy getting put onto this roster, it's easy to get lost. You could get lost in this roster pretty quickly and get pushed down the depth chart and end up, with the Colorado Eagles, which are, it's developmental. They're there for a reason, but everyone wants to be playing in the big leagues. And so for him to kind of come out, make a statement, make it so that they're not really wanting or able to take him out of the rotation. It's been really impressive. It's the reason that they signed him to that deal so quickly. And I think it's just a great move. Like, you get a young guy that has some upside for sure, and he's got time to work his way kind of up into the rotation. Like, right now he's going to be a third, fourth line guy. He's going to make his hay there. He's going to be impactful. And as long as he continues to be impactful there, someone gets hurt, he's going to get a chance to pop up to that second line, and see what he can do. And it's just, it's a fun team right now. I mean, Nathan MacKinnon, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention, he has 32 points. The next closest person has 26. He leads the league in goals and assists, and is second in plus minus. Dude is just on another level this year. It's crazy. It's impressive. It's all of the things that we know that Nate can be, that we've hoped Nate can be, and he's maybe having his best. I mean, obviously he's off to the best start of his career, and we'll see if he'll be able to maintain it. But he's averaging almost 2 points a game right now. It's wild. It's crazy. And he's just
it's something like it's in the water over there. You got 2 4s playing better than they've ever played.
And it's not even like
the way that he's doing it is just,
I was just saying, it's just like they make it look so easy right now. That's the thing. It's like you're in a league.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Athletes in your sport, and it just looks easy.
Yeah. I mean, it's also super dope, right? When you go to the plus minus. So Nate is second, third is Arturi Lehkonen, fourth is Cale Makar. Just like it goes to show kind of where it's at. Your leader in wins is, because it's a goalie stat, Scott Wedgwood for this team is the backup goalie, and he's fourth in the NHL in goals against. So it's just, you have the best offensive defenseman, in what's the war. There's been some really good ones, but Cale Makar is a different breed. And then you have Nathan MacKinnon, who is playing at a level where he by far is the MVP in the NHL if we were to take a snapshot of it today, while Cale Makar is still performing outside of it. Just,
I know, man.
Gotta enjoy it. I know not everything turns into Stanley Cups and World Series and all that stuff. And this is a fun team. That is, they're leading the league in goals per game and second in goals against, and they haven't played well on the power play, especially as well as they could with the players that they got. They're just 5-on-5. You roll yours out there, we'll roll ours out there, and literally we're dominating everybody. And I don't know about you, but that's super dope. It's we'll talk about how the teams in Colorado play. The 3 that are in play right now, all of them are at the top of their respective sport. This one by far, if we were to power rank our teams, right, I would think we'd say Avs are 1 by every measure. I mean, let me see, is there ass whooping percentage in here, because if there were,
right.
they for sure are first. And they'll go into a lull at some point in the season.
Yeah.
Maybe, we'll see. I'm preparing myself that something will happen in terms of, they'll lose a few games in a row, but again, only not gotten a game so far.
Yeah,
it's awesomely mind-boggling.
Yeah, it feels a lot like the 22 Cup team. It just some guys are gonna have lulls, but then you've got other guys who can step up and make plays in those spots, and it's just it doesn't have to be the Nathan McKinnon show every night, though it has been. You've got guys that are talented. You've got guys that are gonna come on a little bit later. Gabe finally got his first regular season goal.
I was just gonna.
In over 1,000 games, or over, what was it, 1,000? Yeah, something like that. I don't remember. 1,000 minutes.
Yeah, 3 in more than 3
years. Days, not games. Sorry, that was my bad.
Yeah,
I was like, that's not right. Mathematically, that makes no sense. Over 1,000 days though since his last regular season goal. He finally got one yesterday. He had scored 2 this season. Both of them had been taken away with offsides.
Yeah, which is super lame.
Yeah.
Here, let's take an opportunity here really quick. Just all together.
From that loose stick.
Enjoy.
Broken stick from the left. Go stall. Can't get it. It's Gabriel Landeskog.
Oh, I feel it right now, Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Colorado captain finally gets
El Capitan. It's just it's a fun team. Let's just lean into it right now,
Yeah, it really is. So let's with that, we'll transition from the ice to the hardtop.
Let's do it.
And another guy that's doing things that we wouldn't think that you would see after doing things that you didn't think you'd see. I feel like you and I each year have I hope everyone realizes and appreciates that what you're seeing is generational. You won't see it again. And I think Nuggets fans and even the casual Colorado Nuggets fan really kind of gets it. I think the league and the world is starting, but it's going to be sad when that ends,
For sure.
You don't know what you got until it's gone kind of thing. But, one of the best seasons in the history of basketball was last year's version of Nikola Jokic. And is he better? Is he better this year? And is it because of the weird beard?
He's better, and I think part of it is there's 2 contributing factors. I think we talked about all the offseason additions and how much that those people are going to benefit from playing with Jokic, but Jokic is really benefiting from playing with all those guys. You've got guys who know how to space the floor.
I like that you brought that. I like that you hit that right there. For as much as he stirs that runs the engine, whatever stirs the cake batter. I don't know. The game is opening up for him in ways that he's not having to exert that. Last year he had to insert himself offensively because ball would get stagnant or. So I cut you off. Keep going. I love that you brought that up. That it's not just Nikola makes spin, which he does. These pieces are finding their own kind of orbit around him. Versus, how many times have we looked at it? It's MPJ, dude, cut something, man. We know it and we play rec basketball.
Right.
Come on, And now it seems like even Cam Johnson, who hasn't looked like you would assume so, is still, just the intelligence of being in the right place, making yourself available, not yakking up crap shots when you're not, when you're not balling. I think it's just goes to show that. What do you think? So with it, right? And then I'm going to cue something up and then I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
So team shooting 50.7% from the floor, 4th in the league. Free throws, which I don't know. I feel like the team hasn't been a staple They're at above 85% in the NBA free throw percentage, which I think is just pretty dope. Nikola 25, 13, and 12. Jamal Murray, almost 23, shade under 23.
Yep.
5 and 5. And then Aaron Gordon at above 20 points, 5 rebounds. I don't know the last time the Nuggets had 3 guys average 20, because I think until like last year, maybe 4, first knew that they had 2 guys averaging 20.
Yeah.
And so, again, to your point of like, he's benefiting too from this version of Aaron Gordon, who has always had the capability to do that. That's why he was the number 4 overall pick and 30-point scorer in Orlando. Jamal Murray, who we all know there's been a level to him that he hasn't unlocked. We didn't know if he would. But, apparently Jamal Murray is Jamal Murray, so don't cut him. All in that, and all of them are playing under 34 minutes a game.
Right.
Which is to see. So I say with that, what do you think is the most impressive thing for the Nuggets right now? Is it what Nikola's doing, which is just out of this role? Jamal stepping up, this version of AG, the bench, or Allen, and what he's done for the culture? And I say that is because normally against Sacramento last night, that's a game they drop. In the Michael Malone era, they just shoot some duds, man. Just especially Sacramento. For some reason, that team has the Nuggets number. No rhyme or reason to it, really, but just is. And last year was pretty maddening about how many you lost to who, and you had a what lead, or you just didn't show up in the first half.
Yep.
And though Sacramento made it a game late. Or it was a game till late till the Nuggets pulled away. They pulled away. They out executed the Kings, and I'm super impressed. It's not even a quarter of the season, so we're still holding judgment. But I've been impressed by tension that this team has, the focus, team ball, the efficiency that these guys are playing with. The business-like approach, it is the same. At least it views the same as the Avalanche. Of this team has a feel like we're gonna get the trophy. Like we're done with this.
Yeah.
This underperforming. Like we're out here to get the 1 seed. Kind of like the Avalanche. Like I'm tired of getting ousted because we have a bad matchup. Like we're gonna be the hunted. And I just don't know if that's Adelman, but I'm gonna give him a little credit for the sake of argument. So what do you think is more impressive? Jokic doing what he's doing? Your B stars. So what Murray and Gordon are providing, the bench, which we've never had a bench, or Adelman. What do you think is more your brighter spot 10 games in?
I have to pick one.
Yes, that's why I said it.
Can I have a 1A and a 1B?
How about you start with the 1A? Hey, in the chat,
All right.
Shy Dak, any of our good friends that are on the old tubes. 1, go like, subscribe, algorithm. 2, please throw in the chat. What's your bright spot 10 games in? Jokic, your co-stars, Gordon and Murray, or the bench, or so yeah, give me your 1A first.
Yeah, I mean, I think after last night's game, I have to go with Nikola Jokic. Just efficiency numbers alone are crazy. Like he's shooting over 70% from the field. I think in the painted area, I don't know what his efficiency is, but I know that he's like 92% from 0 to 3 feet, not including dunks. And like, I think the lowest he gets in the point, I think is in the paint is like something like, 10 or like 8 to 12 feet or something. He's at like 72%, which is still incredible. And then I think from beyond that to the 3-point line he's 100% efficiency. Like the baskets that he's making, it looks so simple. Everything looks easy. I know that he had in the press conference, he said, "Stop saying it looks easy. I'm working hard out there," but he doesn't look like he's working as hard as he's worked, at least, especially if you compare it to last year. Like his numbers were astronomical, but he played a ton of minutes. His usage was super high. He didn't have really many stretches at all where he could kind of let the bench kind of sit in there and work. And he's doing this at a I don't know about career low in numbers as far as, him being a starter, but 33 to 34 minutes a night, he's putting up these points. And it's not even, he got 35 points last night on 16 of 19. It's not like he's taking, he's not making 9 of 10, he's not making 8 of 12, he's going 16 of 19, which is insane. One of those being a 3 that he was just kind of trying to foul bait a little bit.
Yeah.
So he kind of just threw it up there and they didn't get the foul call. So it was a miss, but the dude is he's on a different level right now. His ability to read the floor is just, he makes it look so easy. Jamal and Aaron playing the way they have has impacted his game for sure in that way. But it's crazy. It's a Wilt Chamberlain in 2025, it's something that
the 3 stretch, him and Wilt Chamberlain have averaged the numbers that he's averaging over the last 3 games while shooting above 72% from the floor. Like he's missing 2 or 3 shots a game.
Yeah, it's insane.
And so the way that I get to in his defense, and I think you kind of touched it a little bit about the usage and right. He's working smart. It's not that he's not working hard. And that's why I kind of give some credit to Adelman is I think the way that their offense is flowing, getting the ball in efficient spots for him, right? If you've ever coached basketball, the best teams isn't just like getting your best player the ball. It's getting places that they are comfortable and effective, efficient scoring from, right? If you got guys that are good corner threes, you run plays they get open at the place that they're most effective shooting the ball. And that's what's happening for him. He's a guy with great time. If you get him in the paint, I mean, it's almost automatic, but you got to get him there. And especially you got to get him there when other teams know how good he is at the paint. So it's not like they're like, yeah, please complete this. They're not letting it get done to them. The team is doing it. And so that's why I kind of get my pleasant surprise right now, to be honest, is Adam. I think he has, at least currently, he's hitting the right buttons. I feel like guys are responding well to their roles and their minutes, which, just because MPJ is not here or Russ isn't here doesn't mean that this team doesn't have egos.
Right.
For all that we know, like it's who knows what personalities, we've seen some, Jamal kind of mentally check out. We've seen Aaron Gordon kind of play hurt. You saw his affect last year. Didn't feel like he was really in it. Christian Brown, his passivity in terms of like what's going to be expected from him. Julian Strawther, like just yakking up shots when he goes out there to try and show that he proves to be in the lineup. And that's not the case so far. Again, 10 games in, smallish sample size. But he's been my most pleasant surprise. I think there was I give a ton of credit to Josh Kroenke to like, nope, we're going to do this when we're going to do it, and get a good look at Adelman because I think he's the answer. And instead of just, let's play it through, we'll go through the process. Even though I didn't like it, it wasn't exactly what I was hoping for in terms of the process. And they saw something different. And I love what he's bringing to the table. And last night was the example of them out executing a game against a team that's kind of been a problem for them, playing at 10 o'clock local time here, right? Their body clock, playing super late. That's a game that they would have dropped that I think most of us have got conditioned to be like, they do that, whatever, it's fine, it's games. But they didn't, then they're not. And so that's my 1A. What is your 1B?
Nuggets are, at least last I looked, it might be different after last night, but as of last night, Nuggets were second in defensive rating in the NBA. they're not just be effective on the offensive end right now. They're playing good defense and they're playing smart defense. I think you're seeing the Cam Johnson effect more on the defensive end. Obviously, he's had to struggle shooting the ball. We'll talk about that at some point, but I think you've got guys who are mobile. You've got guys who are tenacious. You got guys who know how to be disruptive, that read passing lanes. That they've been rebounding at an insane level this year. You thought the thought that when you got Cam Johnson was, well, you might miss MPJ's rebounding a little bit. They haven't missed it. Nothing against MPJ. Is a great rebounder.
But wouldn't say great rebounder. He's
a good, very
above average,
good to very good rebounding, depending on the game.
But yes, depending on the game.
Yes,
that was the thing that wasn't consistent. Even always been 6'10".
Yes, that's true.
Just saying, not always. Sorry.
No, you're good, and it's just they understand their schemes. They know what the game plan is going into each game. If you watched last night, they were letting Westbrook and DeRozan take open threes, like they were cheating off of them. They know their assignments, and you can tell. And then that second group gets in, and it's just has such good depth right now that you don't really feel a drop off. Bruce Brown's been great on defense, even if his offense has been a little bit spotty. Jonas is just a big body. He's not going to allow much, in that painted area, at least not without some physicality. And so it just feels like a different team from a defensive standpoint. Obviously they're running a lot of zone. I think that benefits Jokic, kind of the way that he plays. But Jokic is up to, I think, 2 or 2.5 steals a game, something like that. So, or steals and blocks combined in a game. So it's not like he is been this big defensive weak point either. So I think he's able to give more because he's able to sit a little bit longer, because the bench is not losing their minutes like crazy every night. He's able to be rested when he gets out there, which allows him to be more aggressive on defense and more active on defense. The one thing I will say, the Nuggets' strength of schedule hasn't been incredible up to this point. They've had an easy-ish road, and it's going to continue to be easy for a little while. But they're doing to teams what they're supposed to do teams, which is beat them by double digits every night.
And that's what they did not do before.
No, not at all.
They played pretty well against teams that were tough, but this has been a team over the last several years that has sleptwalked, and not even like, let me reserve my body for the just
right
inexplicably. And so I'm going to give a couple just to back you up a little bit. Right. So the Nuggets are top 10 as a team in a whole bunch of things. So including offensive second, right behind Houston at 1.7, Nuggets at 121.6. Defensive rating. So they're behind Oklahoma City, who is the best, or the defensive team in the NBA. So Nuggets are second. So again, second in offensive, second defensive rating. So kind of like what we're talking about, the Avalanche. They're doing it on both ends of the court, which has not been the case. Last year I think they were 22nd. Their net rating is second. Assist percentage, they're top 10, so they're 9th. Assist ratio, they're number 1. Assist to turnover ratio, number 1. You can start to see some of the pattern and things like that. So offensive rebounding is down because they're not missing shots. Pace of play too, they're actually lower, even though they're leading the league in scoring and points per game. And their turnover percentage, they're in top 10 there. So they're the team that's taking care of the ball. They are dictating the pace, which I think is something of note. And they're doing it on both ends of the court, which again goes. What's been more impressive to you, the co-stars or the bench?
Man, it's a toss-up. I think I'll go with the co-stars just because I think it matters more in the long term. Obviously the bench is great. And I think that's been a huge addition for them. But I think you see depth generally, and it's changing a little bit, but you see that more as a regular season upgrade. I think, having Jamal and AG kind of clicking on all cylinders early it's just a great sign for this team and the mentality of this team. We're talking about Jamal, who has struggled to come into camp ready to go. He's struggled to get going during the season. You're usually waiting until about end of November, beginning of December to have really impactful minutes. And he's coming out and he's holding down that bench unit, and he's making his shots, and he's making them at opportune times, and he's keeping the games within reach in some cases, or they're building a lead when he's out there. AG's shooting is just mind blowing. Like, I guess if you live at a gym and you can practice every day, maybe that's the key. Maybe guys need to start doing this, obviously, because it's working for AG. But just his ability to shoot now from the perimeter is pretty insane. Like, it's funny to kind of watch him this year. We're still getting highlight dunks, and then we're getting games where he makes 10 threes, or he is shooting super efficiently from the floor and not just hanging out around in the dunker spot. It's really impressive. I think that the one thing that is impacting a little bit is their ability to get Cam Johnson into the flow of the offense as an initiator. I think that we assumed that when they brought him in, he's going to have more opportunity to kind of handle the ball and initiate offense. They're still working that out, but Jamal and AG have been so good. It's like all of the extra touches have gone to them right now, and they're winning games. And so it's hard to kind of backpedal from there. Right. And so obviously as the season goes on, that could change, guys can cool off, or guys will inevitably, someone will tweak a hammy or tweak a calf, or you roll an ankle, whatever. And that'll open some opportunities, or just like we saw with Cam the other night, AG and Jamal sat out, and Cam had some extra opportunity to kind of get going. I think he put up 12 that night, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it was one of his better games so far. And so, it's going to come. I think it's just going to be a matter of whether they go to him as more of an initiator, or if he's going to be more like a KCP who, he's in his spot, and then when he gets the opportunity, he's attacking with confidence. And so we'll see what that kind of shapes up into. I think they need him to be more of an initiator for them to be really competitive, for a championship. But right now, do what you're doing. I don't think they need to change much.
Yeah. He is in Cam Johnson. Like, there's no ego again coming in.
Yeah.
Until he kind of gets going, which shows that he believes he'll get going, which means he believes in the team and their star, and that Nikola Jokic will make sure that he gets his, as the kids say.
Right.
So super exciting. Great stuff going over at ball. Some of them good at ball, some of them not good, but they're all winning. And with that,
I'll win.
we're going to hit a little talking points, and we're going to talk Broncos foosball. So first and foremost, though, go get you some
Dubby.
Again, use the promo code OBN10, orange and blue 10. Bo Nix 10. It's good flavor, good drinking. Good stuff, none of the bad stuff. So go get you some for sure. 10% off, OBN10. If you have not, continue to like and subscribe, because that's what you should do, because you're good people. And then finally, my man JT is going to give us the rundown on the shows.
Yeah. We got a number of shows all throughout the week. Mondays and Fridays at 11 a.m. You got Orange and Blue Blitz. Mondays at 7 p.m. You've got the Bronco Bros. Tuesdays 7:30 p.m. Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue. Then you've got us, of course, at 2:30 on Wednesdays. Broncos Talk Wednesday at 6 p.m. Thursdays. I can't read that one, and I don't know what it's called. What is this one called? Do you know?
Sorry, which one?
Bottom left. I want to get them out there because I saw it last week, and I think I said it wrong, and now I want to get it right.
Oh, dang it. That's
okay.
No, we'll come back to it. Gosh dang it.
Doc's gonna get it because we want to get everyone.
I'm doing some research. We'll come back.
Broncos in Spanish, Friday at 6 p.m. And then for breaking news, fresh squeeze, orange and blue fresh squeeze, pregame, play-by-play, and postgame. You've got Get Bucked, the Bucking Booth, and Buck Your Feelings. Every game day, just so much Broncos content. You can't go wrong. So please support our fellow network mates. We appreciate them. I know they plug us, and we want to do our best to plug them as well. So make sure you're checking out these shows. Great guys, great content all the time. And if you are a fanatic, you've got all the Broncos content that you could want.
I mean, got good stuff. I'm going to find it again. It's super sad that I didn't. That's my job. So I got you guys back. I will pull up the name of that new podcast. She caught some of it last week and like what we're doing. But with that, we're going to transition to the grid or something. Just for updates, when asked today, just a little bit ago, about J.K. Dobbins, Sean Payton said nothing's decided yet. We don't know how many games he's going to miss, if he's going to miss any. So didn't commit to him not being available on Sunday. But I think most of us are understanding what it's looked like. Mentioned Jaleel by name, saying he's chomping at the bit to come get some run. And as expected, RJ Harvey will get an influx in carries. So kind of I know we'll talk about it throughout, but Jordan Humphrey, he was like, can't quit me. You think you find it better, but you can't quit me. So he is back on the practice squad with the plan that he will be playing this weekend. It looks like Trent Sherfield was not practicing today. So correlation potentially there. And Michael Bandy was cut and re-signed back to the practice squad. Chucker. And then finally, I think just of note, Alex Singleton successfully went under the knife for testicular cancer last Friday, the day after the Broncos played the Raiders. Found out due to a hot UA. It's like, oh, geez, how did I do that? I'm not taking steroids. Come back with elevated levels with concerning markers for cancer. Goes, gets tests, has it lined up, so plays the game knowing. Hadn't told the team yet, and played phenomenal. It was one of the better Alex Singleton games in a while. He's starting to ramp up to kind of the player that we know that he can be from returning from injury. And so from his switch, us to be back relatively soon. Hasn't even been a commitment to him going on IR. Is at least from what he recovery-wise from the specific surgery. It's a matter of weeks. It's whether or not they find else. Right now, they haven't found anything. No, nothing metastasized spread. So, just holy crap! And he's one of my favorite Broncos. He gave a ton of time just talking to my youngest about football when we spotted him in the store. Like, couldn't have been a nicer dude. Lives over in our neighborhood, and some people that live by him talk about just how kind he is and a good dude. So shout out to Alex Singleton. We will not have any Alex Singleton smear on here, player, person, all that stuff. You don't find guys that like want to play for their teammates like this very much, right? Like, not every guy is here for the guys next to him. They're here for a paycheck. But to be honest, if they're putting in a good day's effort, who cares? Not everyone that goes to work is like super pumped about the environment in the workplace, but as long as their teammates can count on them to be dependable and they deliver good customer service or whatever, I don't care what your motivations are. But having a guy, it was more important for him to come play football with his guys, a way to cope, than it was maybe to kind of get himself mentally prepped or whatever that is. He's also broke his thumb twice this year.
Yeah,
he played most of a game last season without his ACL. He's a guy that you wish you could have more like him. But absolute phenomenal person and teammate. And with that, kind of leaves a spot too. We've talked about inside linebacker, Dre Gillen coming back being a challenge. Garrett Wollo was on IR, has been been designated a return, so I assume he's going to kind of step into that third linebacker spot. Next man up for sure. But kind of the comings and goings of the Broncos, fresh off of a defensive battle. It was an ugly football game. Let's just call it what it was. 10-7 win, but a win nonetheless. 7 in a row, sitting top the AFC West for the first time since at this juncture since 2015.
Yeah.
And my opinion, I don't care how they got there. You know, you don't get style points for wins. Not going to apologize for wins because they lost all of the games that they're winning last year. And to know that they're 8-2 and they can play better, that part's exciting as opposed to like, they're 8-2, but like they're 8-2. So maybe just give your general thoughts on the game, some of the roster stuff that we talked about, and then we'll dive into that a little bit before we preview Chiefs week, baby.
Yeah. You know, I think that there's obviously a lot of room for growth with this team offensively. Bo Nix has not looked quite as good as of late. You know, the offenses look stagnant at times. There have been some positives. The running game's been positive generally. I think the play calling has been a little bit tough. And so I think I'm hoping that there's enough leadership and enough voices in that locker room and in that organization that they're going to make some changes. They're going to try some different things. Ultimately, like you said, it's ugly, but a win's a win. You got one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the NFL. And, you know, they're doing what they're supposed to do. Now let's get them a little bit of help. And I think that this is the week. If you're going to pull out all the stops, there's a conspiracy going around that I've heard that the Broncos have really dumbed down their offense to be able to unleash some unknown plays and personnel groupings against Kansas City specifically. Mm-hmm. Now, do I believe that this is true? Potentially. I don't think it's a good indicator of why they've been so bad offensively generally. But I think that there's a possibility they've been keeping some stuff in their back pocket that we may see, and hopefully that is the case. But I want to kind of pick your brain really quick before we get into the Kansas City game about a little bit of the Bo regression talk. I think that it is real to a degree. I think you see this with sophomore quarterbacks because they're more well scouted. People understand kind of their full range of abilities. What do you think this is an indicator of, if anything, for Bo Nix? Is this damning? Is it something that, you know, we're going to look back at next year and he's going to be perfectly fine? Or are there some things that they need to do to kind of make it easier for him?
Yes.
All of the above.
What is he? How many games in? 27, 28, if you can include the playoff games. So 28 games that matter in. You know, they have some tape on now. And some tape on what Sean likes to do with him. So it was expected. So the sophomore slump is real just because it's an opportunity for the teams to fight back. They have an off season to prep. And you're going to kind of get their best. On the other hand, so it's concerning in the sense of he's not playing well. And it's been the last couple of weeks where it's been pretty dreadful, to be honest. That's been coupled with play calling that hasn't put him in a position to succeed. I don't think they've simplified much. I have no doubt that they have some stuff in their bag for Sunday. I think that this win matters a ton to Sean. So I think really up into this, really kind of as they go into their bye, I believe that they were intentionally putting a lot on the offense's plate to we don't care how we look in September and October. We care about how we're going to look November and December when you're pushing for playoffs, and have them go through the growing pains early with the personnel groupings and that kind of stuff. That said, Sean is a guy who gets cute. Saw that in the game on Thursday, 3rd and 1, Instead of handing it off to your running back who averages 5 yards a carry, let's do a wide receiver pass. And, you know, as a fun-loving American, I love me some trick plays. You know, go for it. There's never a good time until it works, you know. But when an offense is struggling, putting them in a position to right, and then he gets tackled like 7 yards lost, so they got a punt. You can't even go for it. It's just that disconnect. I'm like, what are we doing? What's our plan here? That part has been a concern. I think those two things marrying. I think Bo is not trusting what he's seeing. So maybe the guys aren't running the routes in the spots that they're supposed to be, which is causing him to bail early. Or they're not running things he's comfortable with. And I think whatever that is, at some point, Sean has to coach the player that's on the field, not who he wants him to be. Right. He's not Drew Brees yet. You know, when Sean Payton got Drew Brees, he was a 5-year vet who had led 2 top 5 offenses in San Diego. Like, he was a good player before he went to New Orleans. It's not like he was a nobody. He was a good player already. And so Sean's got to, I think, really has to recognize what his team does well. They really got to lean into that. You know, J.K. Dobbins having 3 carries and a half is gross. Like, it goes to show, one, that we're all human. So Sean Payton, who is as good at his job as anyone that walks this planet, still sucks at some things. You know, still doesn't read the room right. You know, misses a field, mismanages, and I think those things are happening. For this team to make a deep playoff run, Bo has to be the version of himself that he was at the end of last season. The good part being, games are so great. It was the second half of the year where he really looked like. So I think post bye week, where he gets a chance to be away from football, reset, come in fresh. I think how he responds to that will be a bigger tell, though, than how this game goes. They traveled a ton. Team that knows you really, really well. Who's going to put it? You know, they lost last week. Their playoff. If you beat the Chiefs this week, then you are 9-2. They are 5-5. They're out of contention for the AFC West. I think you can put a nail in it. And they're fighting for their playoff lives because they lose the tiebreaker with teams like Jacksonville. Right. And so they're going to empty the clip. If I'm the Broncos, I don't think you should. I don't think you should dial up cute stuff. I think you should go. You should play them straight up in a way that you can. It doesn't mean that you can't, you know, have some plays. I want to win this game, but I don't think you have to go all out. I don't think that this determines your season. I think that they played well enough to give themselves a buffer. And if they drop this game, the season is not lost. And so I'm going in with tempered expectations. With that, though, how they play will influence like how much I think that they got to bounce back after the bye. You know, they go in and they lose 28-17 and they get punched in the mouth and they don't respond. Yikes. You know, it's 24-21 and the offense looks pretty balanced, but, you know, Patrick Mahomes does Patrick Mahomes stuff, you know, and you're playing without the reigning defensive player of the year. You know, that part will matter to me. And, you know, kind of when we look at it, kind of we'll pull up the PFF of who we're going with. So let's start with the Broncos on offense. Broncos on offense against the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas pretty well. They haven't been playing as well as they have, though. So this version isn't as good as the Chiefs' last 2 seasons defensively, but still a good unit. So you really look at it. What I've noticed here, again, if the Broncos will let themselves lean on it, the defensive front for Kansas City hasn't played well. Their secondary actually is the strength team as of it sits right now. Might not stay that way, but it is. So I think you have an opportunity to run the football. And I think if it's a team, if they do committed to that, let Bo Nix be a threat with his legs. Play action game opens. I think you're going to have an opportunity really to that's what we did a couple weeks ago. And by PFF's account, the Broncos have the best offensive line in football. If you saw Buffalo do it, I mean, essentially, I would just whatever their play call sheet was that day, I'm running all that stuff. Yeah. And if they're going to beat us, they're going to beat us black and blue. We're going to bruise them up a little bit. And we're gonna play that way. I think that's what has to happen offensively. I think Sean has to get out of his own way, minimize what you need Drew or Bo Nix to do, and do stuff he's comfortable with. Additionally, I don't know why he hasn't ran the ball like we've seen him. I think he needs to go out and have 45 yards rushing. That means he picked up 2, 3, 4 first downs, critical times, which means they have to play defense differently to account for you, and he hasn't really done that. And so that part, I think, as a player, that part's the part is he's not even doing the things that make him special. Whether that's Sean being like, nope, you got to operate in the pocket, you got to this out, or something's off. He's got an injury that we don't know about, whatever that might be. But the Broncos are going to be the team that they want to be. He has to be a dual threat because defenses can't account for that. The running quarterback, the guy that's dangerous outside the pocket with his legs, that's the number one thing defenses never want their quarterback to do, right? Keep him in the pocket, keep him in the pocket, keep him in the pocket. There's a reason why that's the goal. And so they got to do that first and foremost. Additionally, they're going to get 3 big play opportunities in this game. Every week, big play opportunities in every single game, anywhere from 2 to about 5. So if they have 3, we'll say 4, round it up. They got to hit on 2 of them. They got to have plus 40-yard play in the pass game. They got to have a plus 20-yard run. They got to have a couple of them to get some big chunks, to get themselves in scoring position easily so that no matter what, getting opportunities for 3 points. And so that's the part I haven't really hit out of the game. Big plays have not been their bag. And I think that's what has to happen. Next time that don't pull up the screen, I'd like you to let me know. Additionally, the folks in the chat. Final thoughts for a move on to defense?
No, I mean, I think, like you said, this is a good opportunity for them to let Bo use his legs a little bit more. I think they've been so reticent to design anything. I think this would be a good opportunity to do it. I mean, we obviously know Bo Nix can run. And I think that you're to a point where they're probably not game planning him running the ball all that much, just because that's not the tendency. So you could potentially catch him off guard if you put together a couple of good plays, or you allow Bo to kind of work and kind of improvise a little bit more with his legs and athleticism. I think that's a really good wrinkle that you could add to this offense. I just think that they need to find a rhythm, man. I don't know what it is about this offense, but they can't find a rhythm. And I think if you can get some early passing down, some really not, and I'm not talking about throws across or behind the line of scrimmage necessarily, though you can mix those in, like something in rhythm that's going to get Bo a little bit of confidence, throwing down the field, throwing into the middle of the field and into the areas that they've kind of been avoiding. I think it'll go a long way to just kind of open up the offensive game plan for them.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Defensively, again, I want to highlight how phenomenal PFF's number 1 safety in the NFL has been. Hashtag my guy.
Beast.
Just phenomenal hair, phenomenal player. To me, after against Patrick Mahomes, I think he's kind of the guy that it's Palomalu against whoever. There wasn't a lot of running quarterbacks around back in the day, but really the game changer, the guy that really can account for the way that he sees the field, the way that he breaks on the ball, the way he puts himself just in positive situations, I think has just been next level. And I think they have to allow him to play a little bit more free because Kansas City doesn't run the ball really well. Their leading rusher is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is doing the things that we want Bo Nix to do.
Right.
And he's been playing out of his mind. And I'm glad that I picked him up on my fantasy team. It really hurts my feelings to have to play him so much, but he's been super good. But you saw what Buffalo was able to do. This Chiefs line isn't as good as it has been, mind you. Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, really, really good players. Moore and say the left guard's name. You remembered it. Arizona former tackle.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know how to say it.
Okay. Well, one, he's been, I think, better than advertised coming in. Juwan Taylor is still not great. So the Broncos can win up front, and I think that they have to. So the way that this game gets won on the defensive side of the ball, which, it's, to be honest, if the Broncos win, and if you had to guess which side of the ball played better, I think all of us are going to say right now, the elite unit. That's the best. Not having Alex is going to stink. I think for a one-game sample, it's not the same. Justin Stronach has played really, really well. Again, kudos, and I'm going to eat my humble pie about how much he's just transformed himself into a really good player. The last couple of weeks that you've seen Dre Greenlaw, he's been – you see why he's on the field. Like he is a different player. How do you feel like we match up defensively before we kind of get predictions and head out?
I mean, I feel good, especially up front, like you said, kind of down in the trenches. I like the matchup there. Obviously, like you said, Creed Humphrey, fantastic center. Some of their interior play has been really good. But I think probably you worry most about a guy like Rashee Rice, his ability to get over the top and their ability to kind of rein him in. I don't know that you worry too much. I mean, Worthy's kind of the same. He's a big play kind of receiver. You need to be able to limit those plays. And I think lately they've been able to limit a lot of those plays with pressure. I think they're going to have to be able to do the same thing. You know, a lot of those guys that are down the field receivers have struggled against the Broncos just because they haven't been able to get down the field fast enough for the quarterbacks to get them the ball. You know, Mahomes has that ability to keep plays alive, and so they're really going to have to, you know, stay attached to those receivers longer than 3-4 seconds. You know, they're going to have to really do more kind of in that scramble game than they've probably needed to all season.
That really is they're going to lose is Patrick Mahomes taking over and doing all of the crazy stuff. And you got to keep him in the pocket. I think you have to be able to get there with 4 and 5 man pressures. Rarely bringing 6-7. I think the 6-7 thing got me. Yeah. But Rashee Rice really has been. Travis Kelce has been good, but he's not running like yesteryear. So he is a consistent player, but definitely not the big play capability. That said, Xavier Worthy, for as much as you think he's been a big, he only averages a little over 10 reception or yards per catch. Rashee Rice is at 10, which is just interesting. 11. So, and Marquise Brown at 11. So they're kind of playing underneath. Travis at 13, and so he's actually for a tight end phenomenal.
Right.
You have big play guys like Tyquan Thornton, who's at 22. So it has been just kind of, we convert some third downs because we scramble 10-yard pass. It's just been kind of odd about how they're winning offensively. They're still kind of looking okay, but really it's been the Pat Mahomes show. The one game that they really ran the football really well was at Jacksonville. And so that's not true. They ran the ball well against the Raiders. I apologize. Those being 2 wins. 79 yards last week and got thumped. So really that they've been held in check. That part has been a big preacher. I think if you keep Mahomes in the pocket, if Benito really, I feel really good about that matchup or edge guys on their edge guys. And Zach Allen is feeling it right now. And so I'm super excited. I think the defense is going to have a real good opportunity to show out. Chris Abrams-Drain, let me pour one out for you. As much as I know that Pat is a difference maker, this team has continued to play well defensively. Mind you, Geno Smith just threw 4 touchdowns 4 days before they played.
Yeah.
So it's not like they they weren't performing well or they got nobody, all this stuff. We're playing pretty big football, at least offensively. Chris Abrams stepped in, played really good. Riley Moss looked like a number one corner last week. They're going to have to do that to a different level. But I think at the occasion, give me your final predictions before we get up and out of here for this Sunday matchup against the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, I want to say one thing, because one thing that I think we didn't touch on that I think will be a factor for Broncos offensively. They need to play a clean game from a penalties perspective. They are killing so many of their drives with bad execution and getting penalties called against them. It's really killing and stalling drives out. They really need to work on that. And then I wanted to hit this question, Orange Crush 512. Hey fellas, will this be the game that finally gets Ingram going? I feel like lack of tight end play has been hurting Bo's growth, and it's shown especially in the last 2 games. I would love that. I don't know, unless that's something that they've kind of been with our conspiracy corner, keeping close to the chest, keeping those cards close to the vest. I don't know why they haven't been able to get the ball to Evan Ingram. I don't know if it's a scheme thing. I don't know exactly what the issue is there, but it would be great for them to start being able to utilize him, especially over the middle of the field. But I guess time will tell. Any thoughts on that?
I love it. I think is this the game? It's hard to say. Like, I think it is as good of game to really kind of come out with that. It's hard because they haven't yet, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
Sean brought him here to not offensively, but you know, Drew Tranquil is a good coverage linebacker, former safety,
yes.
But Nick Bolton is, and I think it is an area where, at least the way that it looks, even on the PFF where they match up, that one is one that you would like, you know, Evan Ingram to be able to do that. So I think, you know, if Evan goes out, has 6 catches for 70 yards, I think that shows the offense is probably playing pretty well and they're scoring some points. I think if he goes out there and has a 2 catch for 10-yard performance, not ideal, Bob. Not ideal. So I appreciate that question. I don't know that he'll get going. For some reason, I have no evidence to make me feel like that would be a good bet.
Yeah, that's just the problem. There's no body of evidence to lean on to say that this is the game, you know. But you know, fingers crossed, here's open. As far as predictions, I think it's going to be a tight one. I think it's going to go down to the wire. I'm really torn. I think that this is kind of a do or die game for Kansas City, and so I think that kind of gives them a little bit of an edge over the Broncos as far as what we've seen on the field and kind of the historical what we've seen from Kansas City over the last number of seasons. I think you're right. If you win this game, you've got 2 hands on the steering wheel in the driver's seat for the division, and probably your numbers to win the division probably go up significantly. I would be interested to see if they do win, what the difference in the sports book is if after the game as opposed to beginning the start of the game. I am gonna. This defense is so good. It's been keeping us in so many games. I have to imagine that the offense is going to get going at some point. I just don't know if this is the week. I'm going to go 24-21 win for the Chiefs. I don't know that we've got enough on the offensive side right now. And I think that this is a team that you're going to have to be kind of clicking on all cylinders. Divisional games are tough. They're different. They're different than any other games that you play throughout the season. They're always competitive. The teams know each other so well. So unless Sean Payton's got pages and pages of kind of stuff in that offensive play calling sheet, that we haven't seen and that's gonna be debuted. It makes me hesitant to pick the Broncos. I love the Broncos' chances. I think they've always got a shot with this defense. But right now, I think that the streak, unfortunately, would come to an end.
Yeah. I couldn't disagree with you more. You negative. No.
That's why I went
this
first.
is I think that this team wants this win. I think you're going to get a much better version of Bo Nix out last year. They should have won the block field goal game. I think RJ Harvey has got to step up. I think he's going to have a relatively good game. Tyler Bidet has shown really good flashes when he's done to run the ball. So I think they're going to lean there. You know what, Orange Crush? I do think they're going to use Evan Ingram as an extension of the run game. I think this is a game where Sean Payton wants to win, and because he knows he's kind of measured next to Andy Reid, same era, all that kind of stuff. I think that the Broncos defense is too good. I think that they, what Buffalo did, that was cute. I think the Broncos are a much superior defensive team. They've always played Kansas City tough with less talent. I think that this team knows if they win, one, I think that you kind of slayed the dragon, but you also go into a bye, right? So you kind of had your mini bye, let it all out, leave everything, right? I'm carrying guys off, gurneys and all. Don't leave anything out there because you get, you guys are going to Cabo for a week. Sean's going to give them a week off. He usually does. Hey guys, give it all. And I think that they're tired of hearing offensively about how bad they are. I think they're going to come out and be much more consistent. And I think it'll look better. So I actually have the Broncos winning. I have it 24-20. I think that it's one normally that I would bet against. I think I don't feel overly confident going in based on the past couple of weeks. But this Kansas City team is flawed too. And they are coming off of the worst performance in Patrick Mahomes' career, and so they're not immune to it either. And if the Broncos get any close to that version of Patrick Mahomes, which is very reasonable considering the defensive talent that they have, playing at home, mile high, all that good stuff. I think this is going to be a good gut check, and I think we're going to see what this team is all about. You know what? I will be shocked if they lose. Actually, I really have a gut feeling. It could be homerism, all that good stuff. But I think this team's different. Kind of going with the theme again. This team has a calm confidence about it that they believe they got something special, and I think this will be a good indicator to show the world what they think they know already.
Yeah, I love it. Well, we got to run today. Thank you guys so much for being here. We always appreciate you. We will be back. Actually, we're not going to be back next week. We will be off next week. We both got some personal things going on, but we will be back the following week. And so that's it for today's show. Appreciate you. Be kind to one another. Be safe out there. And if you need a sports prescription, ask a doctor.
I'll hook you up.
From football to hockey, we're taking it higher. Join the celebration, feel that sports desire. So grab your crew, let's hit the show. My high sports symposium, let the good times flow.